Good morning, afternoon. What's the combination of those two things? Good morning. Hello, welcome. Hi, Kayla. Who do we have on Periscope? Say hello. Full Fit Team Love is in the house, which means your questions will be saved. Yay. What's up, everyone? Hi, guys. I am like so hot right now. Whoa, like I just went outside. I was doing some sprints at the track by our house. It's one of those beautiful days in London that we rarely get this time of year. Like I feel like I'm at the beach where there's this nice breeze, but strong heat, and I can't cool off. I took an ice cold shower. Got all the things going on. Peppermint, right? Whew. Back of the neck. I have my fan going right here. Yeah, I'm grateful for this weather. All right, let me get set up. Keep saying hello. I love seeing who's on live. Green stuff. This is my post-sprint smoothie, a little higher protein. You want to know what's in it? It has a cup of almond milk, organic almond milk. It has 2 handfuls of organic spinach. It has 2 scoops of protein powder. It has half a frozen banana. Whew. All right. Let's get going here. Hold on, dance it out. Okay. Dyson fans are the best. They really are worth it. Okay, let me turn off my tunes. I upload these playlists to YouTube, so YouTube is obviously going to flag me for having this song in the beginning. That's okay. I always have a backup plan. If YouTube takes the recording down, we have a backup plan. Don't you worry. All right. Here we go. Okay, well, welcome everyone to our weekly Q&A Whole Fit TV broadcast. I'm Ange Peters, and I'm the founder of Whole Fit, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. I see a lot of you over on Facebook. We have about 70 watching from the Facebook Live wall on my personal profile, and I'm over on Periscope. Obviously, we have about 200 over on Periscope. Jill, my assistant's on. She's going to collect questions as we go through an open caboodle of Q&A today. And I have some really great questions you guys posted in the queue from a few weeks ago. If you're brand new, joining us live, this is a broadcast I do weekly, 12 o'clock Eastern on Wednesdays. And most weeks you can find me here doing an open round Q&A or a focused topic. So I thought it was time to do an all-out Q&A session because the last 2 weeks, if you joined live for those sessions, you know that it was a topic, right? 2 weeks ago, I served up the final DIY, the dish pucks. I called them the unicorn dish pucks, natural DIY dish detergent little pucks that you can create. And this was the final recipe, at least for me anyway, of all the things that I used to buy that I can now make in my own home if I want to. Now, there are still things I buy from time to time. I love the natural health products and solutions that doTERRA sells. So I have, kind of transitioned or redirected what I do because I just don't have the time anymore. But there are seasons, where I love making stuff, right? And just like you, some of us start off doing that and then we go on to buy products that do the same thing. But it's good to have that as a backup plan. And then last week, I did a juicy topic. I don't know how many of you were on live for that. It's had almost 40,000 views. It's a very discussed topic. It's a common question that comes up on these weekly broadcasts. And it's basically why that health coach or that entrepreneur or successful person on social media has such a problem with your natural health network marketing business. The real reason, okay? And so it has had a lot of views, it's had a lot of shares, but I would love to hear from you guys if it stirred up anything for you or perhaps helped you shift in your awareness of what you're actually doing. Because sometimes we just need to hear the right thing at the right time for everything to change, right? So it might even be one of those broadcasts you go back and watch a couple months from now, because maybe you'll be in a different position at that point. How are all the mamas doing? I hope you had a beautiful Mother's Day. I shared something that was on my heart, my heart's prayer onto social media this week, and I just looked down at my desk. I have these beautiful mala beads that Tiny Devotions sent me for Mother's Day. It's actually, I think it's the Mother's Day mala, and it's gorgeous. Look at this guru stone. It is all my favorite colors in one stone. So grateful for them. Hop over to Tiny Devotions, you guys, and say hey and let them know I sent you over. Take a look at this mala when you go on their website. Tiny Devotions, I'm actually good friends with the founder, and they were the original. They are an innovative kind of company within this space. They were the original inspired jewelry mala bead company. So they have really great designs, and appreciate them sending this over. But on the topic of Mother's Day, one of the things that was on my heart, I woke up with my girls that morning and was just feeling so grateful for the opportunity to be a mom, and what it actually has gifted me. And when I was thinking about it, it is such a gift, right? It's such an opportunity to become, as women, our best self in order to impact and influence our kids in the best way. And I was thinking about how it starts with us in our home. And my prayer for myself as a mom is that peace and love and health and empowerment begins with me, that it starts with me, that I'm not waiting for someone else to ever do that for me or to give me that it starts with me. And it's that kind of ownership that I tend to talk about on these broadcasts quite a bit. Some of you know what I do. If you don't, I am the founder of WholeFit. So I am a health coach in this space. I have been for coming up to 10 years. And I started connecting people to key tools to walk out their natural health journey in a better way about 3 years ago. I partnered and started to build a business with doTERRA essential oils after using many different brands for many years. And the real reason that over 30,000 people have joined just our WholeFit community in 3 years, not to mention, the 4.5 million in doTERRA in just 9 years. But the real reason is not simply because people were, curious about oils and it stopped with that purchase. That's not the whole story. What is actually happening, and this is really what my heart's message was on Mother's Day, is these are people, this is the sign of a movement, right? Really moving forward fast. But this is the sign of people who have taken complete ownership of their health, of their wealth, of their happiness, their time, their influence, their impact, their generosity, their abundance, okay? Their empowerment. Think about that. It's not a purchase of essential oils. What is actually happening behind the scenes is a massive amount of people who have decided to take their power back. How does that land for you to understand that? Like, this is actually what we do. I actually wrote this question to my business team this morning. I said, what is it that you think you really do here? Yes, you connect people to oils, but what do you really think you do? Because it isn't that. It isn't just that. So the people that are leading this natural health movement, a lot of you on this broadcast right now, you are the ones who continue to ask, I wonder what would happen if I broke the rules a little bit. You are the ones who, know the game so that you know how to leave the game, right? You've always been curious. You've asked the questions. You know the rules so that you know how to break the rules, right? This is what leads a movement. It's people, and then we are drawn to these people. I am one of those people. I am one of those people who understands the game, because I am a very curious person. My whole upbringing created, the curiosity that I have with movements, with the health space, with government, with religion, with school. I love to ask the questions to understand the game, so I know how to take myself out of the game if I need to. And that's what a lot of this is that we're all a part of here. So, it begs the question, what something is as a cost value is not necessarily what it's worth. How many of you, can actually put a dollar amount on the value of being part of a natural health movement, of being empowered? Maybe that started for you as a kid, yeah. But what is the actual value of that? Right now, doTERRA has this really cool promo going on. A lot of you know about it. Anyone who gets started with the oils is going to get $50 in free oils. So really cool, right? Now, this is going to attract the people who have been waiting for a sale, right? These are the people who don't yet understand the value of what's really happening here. And that's okay, because we were all there at some point. I certainly was too. We were all that person who needed an incentive to put ourselves first for once. So, hi, Erin. These are the people who will be drawn to this kind of a promo this month. That might be some of you. Maybe you've been on the fence. Maybe you're part of the group of people that have been hearing about oils for years. Most people today need to hear about them between 10 and 15 times before they actually end up starting this essential oil journey, right? So if you're that part of that group of people, this promo will probably appeal to you because you don't yet grasp what's really going to happen in your life through that investment in the beginning. It's just not clear yet, okay? So it will be. It'll start to really transform your life. One other quick mention I wanted to share before we kick off questions. If you live in London or surrounding area, London, Ontario, you may have seen me post on my personal Facebook. I'm hosting the doTERRA Wellness Summit May 26th. So we have room for 1,000 people. We have over 800 who have grabbed their spots already. So I just wanted to do a quick mention for those of you on live, hop over and grab your spot. Even if you're in Toronto, GTA, surrounding areas, there's a lot of people driving in. We have people coming from Ottawa. We have people flying from BC. It's going to be a really great event. Incredible speakers, like the best, right? Talking about their passion within the business and also within product education. So there's actually from 4 to 6 p.m. we have a business opportunity session. So we have about, I think we have about 500 to 600 people registered for that right now. And 60% of people that have been coming to this wellness summit, they come for the business session first because they're curious. And that's all that is. You'll learn about doTERRA and how to be a part of leading this movement forward. And then from 7 to 9 is the product education. So we have a couple great sessions there. Leslie, they're not live streamed, but I will likely do some Facebook living from the event since a lot of the girls on, well, actually everyone speaking is on our WholeFit team, but I like to record their broadcasts when they're up there in their zone of genius. Okay, so you guys, let's go into questions and keep it all about you today. I have a couple that you guys posted this morning below the social media tee-up. But as you guys are thinking of your questions, I think what we'll do, I've got Jill on, who's my assistant there. She will grab any questions that are posted that haven't really been addressed in the past. Some of the most common questions you want to go back and watch previous recordings on would be how to find balance or harmony between business and life as a mom. That comes up quite a bit. I try not to get too deep into doTERRA specific builder questions, so please don't ask questions about how to do placements. That's what your upline is for. But in general, I love to talk about anything health related, time management, and how to brand yourself. Things like that often come up. So I have some really great questions I want to kick off with. The first one was asked a couple weeks ago. Can you share your rhythm of Facebook groups, which are open and closed? How often you generally post and comment to each? So I use Facebook to build community. And I have, my predominant groups would be my oil community group, which has close to 15,000 people in it. It's a private group, so it's It's where we add everybody who's in our essential oil user community so they get lots of inspiration and questions answered very quickly. And then I have my leader group, my business builder group, which I think we're at around 4,000 people in there. Those are people on our team who are actually doing the business. So everything in that group is business specific. And then the other groups I run would be program specific. So I have my Ready, Set, Glow detox, which all of the action runs through that group. And then I also have another cleanse for our essential oil team called Essential 30. So I use Facebook groups heavily for building community and connection and culture. This is part of the game today. You have to be creating a global opportunity for people to tap into, to plug into and be inspired and served. And we have to evolve. And our groups are the way that people really tap in and become inspired, I have found. So the way that I am present in those groups, I use automated posting tools only because I have two intentions with those groups. Number one, I want there to be a constant flow of inspiration because people are on at different times. We have people joining all the time. So I probably have in my oil group, I have about 5 to 6 posts that go up every single day just about using oils and up leveling in our health. And the tool that I use, you guys, is called Meet Edgar. Okay, so someone just asked that, Marcy. Meet Edgar is probably, I'm pretty sure it's the most expensive social media tool right now because it has more bells and whistles than something like Hootsuite or CinchShare. So you check it out. It is totally worth it if you're somebody who uses groups to build community because you basically upload all the posts you want it to use and draw from, and you tell it when you want a certain category or topic to post, and it'll draw from your library and it'll post for you at that time. Hootsuite or CinchShare is another one that's, I think they're close to free. Tiny Torch, Brittany just mentioned. So there's a lot of different tools out there. So again, that covers off the base of wanting to inspire and provide value and content to a group that you're growing, while also serving intention number 2. Nobody should be online all day long. If you are, then you are a hamster in a wheel. I am online maybe an hour a day. It looks like I'm not. It looks like I'm, online all the time because I have all these posts going up, but it's actually not me. Now I do check in when I'm running a live group. So when I'm doing the live cleanses, I'm very present. I'm very active in those groups, but that is also my plan. That's my intention. Day to day, an hour a day or less. I saw a question come up about Lead Train. I have no experience with it, so I'm not too sure about that. Erin said, I get complaints sometimes from my team that they feel there is too much going on in the group. I post tweets a day and customers, and 3 times a day and 3 times a day in builders. What are your thoughts? That's up to people to manage, right? So this is all about, if you call yourself a business builder or an entrepreneur, it's up to you to decide what you need and what you don't. It's not up to it. If you think it's someone else's problem because they're posting too much, then take yourself out of the group because clearly you don't find value in it. Or how about you just get really good at knowing what you need and what you don't, and stop being somebody who's distracted by every ding, bell, and whistle on your phone. It's not up to anyone else. I think as the leader, Erin, I get what you're saying. So my feelings on that are, think about what your intention is. And if your intention is to have constant inspiration coming into your group, then keep doing what you're doing. Keep rocking. It's awesome. Okay, so I see some more questions coming in Facebook. Let me go through the last couple ones here that I took from the feed. What are you currently listening to, Ange? Okay, so I have a couple faves right now. Number 1, Rob Bell, because for those of you that are starting to grow as an entrepreneur in your business, you realize that, especially in doTERRA, your doTERRA business is actually life and is actually spirituality. It's all very connected. How you grow as a person, how you evolve into your best self, a human being. His name is Rob Bell. I love his material. He has about 10 books out there. He has a podcast, which is free check him out if you want to understand why this business is actually all about you and nothing else, and how you show up and serve. I also love the Jocko podcast, Jocko Willink. He has a podcast called Extreme Ownership. He has a book by the same name. His boldness and clarity on what ownership in your life speaks so much to me. I do try to keep in harmony my feminine and masculine side as a business owner. He obviously isn't for everybody, but he was in the Navy SEALs as a leader, and I really appreciate his perspective, because there are certain people we absolutely should listen to because their life speaks for their wisdom, okay? Their life, the action they take, the experiences they've had, and the kind of life they've lived puts them in an opportunity to have credibility with what they say, and he, to me, has that. And the third one would be Caroline Myss. I first heard about her back in holistic nutrition school. She wrote a book called Anatomy of the Spirit, and I love her work. She is so edgy and so bold, and I think she's in her late 60s or early 70s. She's incredible. And one of the leaders on my team, Geraldine, her and I often have conversations that might be a little too spiritually edgy for some people, but we realize what this business really is. And Jer sent me, yeah, Pam, that's the TED Talk Jer sent me earlier this week on YouTube. If you look her up, Caroline Myss, M-Y-S-S, look her up. I just shared her TED Talk with a friend this morning. She's incredible. Oh my goodness. I want to have coffee with this woman. She's very wise. Okay, the third question, how to build when you aren't able to get out of the house to teach classes. Real simple, you've got two options. If you can't get out of the house, number one, you're probably going to build your business through one-on-one. And there are a lot of, diamonds in doTERRA that have done this. So, nothing wrong with that. Meet people at the juice bar or Starbucks and bring your oils and make it all about that person and serve it up. You can powerfully impact someone's life, and you're able to give them one-on-one attention. The second option you have is Facebook. You're going to probably look at, creating opportunities for people to host private Facebook classes with you, where they invite their crew. You show up as the host. You give the host a hosting gift. This is an example of how you have to think out of the box. And to be honest, for all of you building a doTERRA business, you're going to need to evolve in your approach. People rarely, let's say you have a launch class and it goes really well and you invite all your friends and family, everyone in the neighborhood and their cousin. They all come to your launch class, and then you book a couple classes off that class. That would be a really good class, right? Let's say you rock that launch, you get yourself into momentum for the first 3 months of your business, and then all of a sudden you host a class and it's the first time when nobody shows up. And what you've just realized is what you've always done is not going to always work. So you have to look for opportunities to get out there and create more opportunities for you to teach and to get in front of people. So maybe that's doing a booth at your local market, meeting lots of people. Maybe it's, Ashley's on right now. She shared yesterday how she paid like $1,000 to speak at an event, but it created 2 new class hosting opportunities for her. So, I'm not saying that's the answer, but at some point you have to think about what's working and what's not, and what is the message for me here? What am I trying that's not working? Stop banging your head against the wall, thinking it's as simple as if you host it, they will come, because it's not, right? You've got to evolve. You have to look around you, yes, and see what's working for some people. Sometimes you want to duplicate that a little bit, but do you. Think about you. And to be honest, the sooner that Marcy, actually, it's funny you asked about starting a podcast. I used to do a podcast called the Holistic Health Diaries, but I've been thinking about taking all of these Q&As and streaming them with my assistant to MP3, so you can listen to them while you're away from your computer. So stay tuned for that. But when we are building a business, the sooner we can get really clear on who we are and who we're meant to help, and we start to brand ourselves with that message, the more momentum we'll have. And what you want to realize is that you're not here to help every single person. I've talked about that quite a bit before. there is a specific person, a muse, if you will, that you are here to help and guide because you have walked that out already. You have been that person. Every brand has this that is doing well today. Lululemon has a muse. Her name is Ocean or something like that. And Lululemon is very clear on what kind of customer they're looking to attract, and they don't veer off looking to attract everyone into their store. In fact, they got in trouble a couple of years ago because the CEO was very clear about who he doesn't see as the Lululemon shopper. Okay, so that got a little bit edgy and he had to step down as CEO. But that is also an example of a brand that is very clear on who they are and who they're looking to serve. So I would ask yourself the same question. If you could write out the ingredients that make up your ideal customer, who is she? And how can you start marketing yourself and the opportunity to teach her in a clearer way? Fourth question, have you always been a confident person? If not, how do you build your confidence? Marcy, we'll take that question. Jill, if you could get her question about this infrared sauna. I think that confidence comes through taking action. Just like being a leader, I don't think that anyone is necessarily a leader by birth. It's not this, you're confident or you're not confident. And I think it's daily. There are definitely times, in fact, when I'm not feeling confident, I've trained myself to be excited by that because that means I'm being stretched. I don't want to feel confident all the time because I want to know that I'm always learning and that I don't feel like I've always got this. I mean, that's a general feeling I have in life, of empowerment, of feeling like I do have the knowledge and the tools to be the kind of woman, mother, and leader that I need to be. That's important. But I kind of dance on the edge of being confident without thinking I know it all. And that's why it's important to keep developing yourself and finding people that challenge you. Making sure that you're not always the most successful person in the room. Putting yourself in situations that make you scared a little bit so that you feel those feelings of, oh, this is the stretch. I'm growing right now, right? But there are a couple things. I mean, number one, I've always been a curious person. So I think to be confident, you have to be curious. You have to commit to asking questions, like I talked about earlier, so that you understand the game, so you know how to leave the game and blaze your own trail. So I think that would be number one. I think number two, which I just mentioned, is be coachable. When you think you know it all, you just become an amateur again, right? So be coachable, be learning, look around you and be inspired. One of my favorite things to do, and I don't do it enough, is just to go for a walk with nothing coming in, and just have my senses open so that I can be inspired. Because I tend to try to maximize my time all the time. How many of you can relate to this feeling? I'm driving and I'm always listening to something. I'm cooking and I'm listening to something. I'm running and I'm listening to something. And I find that if I don't take time to just not have anything coming in, then I lack inspiration and I don't see the lessons around me. People teach us things all the time too, just in how we interact. So talking more with people, asking questions about them, being curious about them, right? Being open to learning, that builds confidence. Because then when you're clear, you know how to take action, right? And part of building confidence is knowing, number one, nobody else has the answers for your life. Nobody, please let that sink in. No one else has the answers for your life. You write the rules. But number two, no one else has the secrets either for how you can become confident. You can look around at confident people and think, well, it must be this or that or whatever. But it's such an inside game. Confidence is very linked, I feel, to integrity, to how we lead our life off screen, to who we are early morning, late night, when no one's watching. That's what builds confidence, because then we're somebody who we don't need other people to approve of who we are and what we're doing, because we know. And John Maxwell in in that book, I recently read the 15 Laws of Leadership, or 15 Laws of Growth. Sorry, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. It looks like this. He talks about how, we need to be very aware of the conversation we're having with ourselves. It's the most important conversation we have every day, is that self-talk, is that conversation with ourselves. And I think when it comes to confidence, it's watching our language. It's thinking about the words we need to stop using. A word I stopped using last year was should. I realized that and it wasn't something I was ever verbalizing, but it was, in the conversation here, I was always feeling like I should be doing something else. And it was this kind of talk that was making me feel like I wasn't enough, like I wasn't a good mother because I wasn't doing this and I should be doing this, or I wasn't a good leader because I should be doing this and this person's doing that. And as soon as I stopped the should word, I stepped into a new level of confidence in who I am and what I'm here to be. And I know, for example, as a leader, I'm a presidential diamond in doTERRA. When I have looked around me too much at what the other presidential diamonds are doing, traveling all over the world to be with their teams, do all that, travel is not one of my passions, okay? So it doesn't fill a cup for me there, but also, who am I to my team and to my kids if I'm on a plane all the time? I had to become clear on where can I serve the best within my gifts and do it different, because there are no rules. And this is how your confidence comes. And the cool thing is, by doing that, you'll have people start to come to you and say, man, you're so confident. And you'll be like, what? I'm not confident. Who are you looking at, right? But they feel it from you. They can sense that you're somebody who's writing her own rules. Okay, so let me just check my doc here. Stephanie on Facebook asked, I was wondering if you could share some insight on money management as someone progresses through the ranks. As you grow, your income will grow, and I just wondered if you had any tips on handling it gracefully and wisely. What happens as you become successful and as you earn more money is you start to wonder if you're worth it. So what we encourage people on our team to do is to step into that rank now. Start to wear the life and lifestyle of somebody who is already at the goal that you want to be at, because then you start to believe it yourself. And that, again, that's the most important conversation. Yes, Jenny, dress for the position you want. So it's in the little things. If I think about somebody in doTERRA who is looking to grow a diamond organization, which is a multiple six-figure income type of business, someone who has a goal of becoming a diamond, one of the things they will practice changing is apologizing all the time. This is big, because think about it. Think how often we're apologizing to people for who we are, for all we're not doing. What that's doing is it's chipping away at our confidence and our belief in the work we're doing. And so one of the things I would encourage you to practice is somebody who's looking to understand their worth and therefore not be shocked when that first paycheck comes for $10 or $20 or $50 or $100,000 a month. In order to accept that with grace and know that money is energy, money amplifies who we already are. So there is a lot of good happening in our world right now because people who have a heart for service and for helping other people are being blessed, and their generosity is their strategy. They give of their time, they give of their money. It looks different ways for everybody, but number one, they know their worth in this world. They know what they're here to do. They know that it's much bigger than what it looks like on paper. So money is, it's a symbol of that, I feel. And yes, there are a lot of what we would label as bad people in our world who have a lot of money. But that kingdom falls, it always does. Good prevails, light prevails, love prevails. I believe this with every bit of me. It's why I never know what's going on in the world. I don't know what's going on in the news because there are two worlds. There's the world on Facebook or CNN or on your cable TV. And then there's the world behind our eyes, as Caroline Miss talks about. the world where we see things as we are and where we shape the kind of world that we are living in. And the reason that's important is life can be hard. There can be a lot of things that come at us. I have gone through very hard things, as I know many of you have. And the world behind our eyes and the way we see things completely affects how we interact with it and how we grow and how we respond, how we perceive life. So money, that was a tangent. Money symbolizes somebody who understands their value and gives in a big way. I'm not talking about, giving your church 10 grand a week. If that's where you're feeling called, then great. But you're likely somebody who is giving of your time in a big way to people and playing a big part in moving the world towards greater light and love. You will be blessed through that, I assure you. There was another question. Let me just think where it was. Oh, that's so cool. Berkeley's mom on Instagram said, question, thanks Lisa. Question about execution with respects to mindset. Your mind arrives before your body. Manifesting and visualizing are critical. I understand this, but what do the everyday actions look like for an elite leader? Visualizing diamond, the actual day in, day out hustle. What are the diamond level things I should be doing every day? Thanks. So what an awesome, segue or question about what we were just talking about. How can you wear that rank now? And honestly, when I think, so a diamond leader is very clear on why they are here. I have 2 girls, I don't know if they're on right now. I have 2 girls on my front line going diamond this month. And I texted them earlier this week to ask them, with love, what is the message on their heart they haven't yet shared? And they're still thinking about it. I'm waiting for their response, and I'm waiting to see it online because this is what a diamond leader is clear on. They're very clear on what they care about, what their truth is, why they are doing what they do. They are so clear on it because they have played around with things that weren't their truth. They have, in the past tried things that didn't work. They have failed. They have duplicated without success at times to get them clearer on who they are and why they're here. So you're an elite looking to go diamond, do a lot of the personal work to understand what does your life put you in a position to care about. Where have you had pain? Where have you had success? Where are people drawn to learning from you? One of the reasons I go all spiritual with you guys on these broadcasts, we're not just talking about things like essential oils. Yeah, they're the gateway. But the real reason I go deep here is because I know hardship, I know depth, I know pain. And this is why I commit so fully to living in light and love, because I know that side. People who just tread the middle their whole life and they don't feel anything and they just want to stay in the box, they're so boring to us. But they're the noisy ones too, aren't they? They're the ones who create a lot of noise and useless chatter in our world. All right. We're up to 20 to 1. Let's go. I can go to 1 with you guys. Do we have questions? Let me just check from Jill. I don't know if she wrote me on here. Oh, okay, Jill. Yeah, keep them coming here. Do I dry skin brush before the sauna? So I have mentioned that I have an infrared sauna in our home. It's the best purchase I've ever made. And we go in it. My husband and I will sometimes go in together, or I'll do a session in it after a workout because it helps promote healing, especially if you've done weight training. So I go in it like 4 to 5 times a week. Infrared technology heats the core. It's not like it's hot when you go in it, but it's not like a mist or a dry heat sauna where you start sweating right away. Very important for healing. So my routine with the infrared is I dry skin brush first because your skin is your largest organ, especially for detoxification. If you dry skin brush first, you're opening up the cells, so as you're sweating, things are being released quicker, and you'll be shocked at what you actually smell. You'll smell last night's dinner coming out through your pores. It's a magnificent way of cleansing the body. So I dry skin brush first, and then I apply some specific essential oils. I use doTERRA's Zendocrine blend. It's a detoxification blend. I will put that either right over my liver area, okay, diluted. I have a little roller bottle that I use. And I'll usually do the bottoms of my feet as well, just because larger pores there, so it absorbs through the body. I love Arbor Vitae. Oh my gosh, I go through a bottle of Arbor Vitae every month, you guys. It is my favorite for grounding and for immune support. So it also smells like a cedar sauna. So I love to, sometimes I'll mix it with a citrus. I love it with lime or bergamot. So I will often make a body oil before I go into the sauna to strengthen those things, to strengthen my grounding and my immune system, and it's incredible. So that's basically my routine. I drink a ton of water on the days that I do a sauna. On a general day-to-day, I drink about 4 liters of water, and I do about 20 minutes per session. Okay, cool. I think that was the only question Jill had for me from the chat. So what other questions do you guys have? I'll scroll Facebook as Periscope is coming in. Okay, Jill, grab the ones on Periscope right now. So Jill just posted to me trigger topics such as vaccines. Should I stay quiet on social media or share my heart? Is somebody asking me what I do or what they should do? I'm not too sure, but I talk about them once in a while. To be totally transparent with you guys, my oldest had almost all of her vaccines. So as a new mom, 8 years ago, I wasn't quite sure what to do in that space. I felt pressured. I felt like I was a bad mom if I didn't do them. My youngest, Emerson, as many of you know, she had horrible eczema her whole first year of life. And my mama heart, I knew I shouldn't inject these vaccines into her because of that issue. I wasn't yet clear on my stance with them. And that was about 6 years ago. There wasn't as much information as there is today. So she is not vaccinated. So every year I have to track myself down to get the notary to sign a form saying that vaccinations are against my religious or conscious belief. Okay, so that's the procedure here in Ontario and Canada at large. There might be some provinces where you don't need that. In the US, I think it's about the same with the exception of the state of California where they have forced parents to vaccinate in order for their kids to go to school. My feelings on a topic like this, why wouldn't you share your heart? You're going to get really good at having compassion for people who don't do the research themselves. You will be targeted. You will trigger a lot of people when you speak your truth. When is the right time to do that? You can choose to not talk about things that matter to you. Every once in a while, you'll see me. I don't typically talk about politics, to be honest, because personally I could care less about them. My feeling on politics, well, here it is. I think that we all create the kind of system that we need. If you're somebody who's relying on the government to take care of your health, then you're going to be in trouble. So step up, take ownership, get the tools you need, and stop relying on the government to change things for you. I pay a lot of money to the government. That's another story. Hey, Andrew, I'd love to hear your tips on education and exposure to people before they arrive at a class so that they will know what they are showing up for. Cool question. So what I like to do when I'm doing a launch class for somebody, or if I have a host, I like to have them create a Facebook event just for their class. And I wouldn't do this if I was, like, let's say I'm hosting a class in my home 3 times a month. I wouldn't do that. It might become overkill, but now that I say that, if you're inviting new people to this class all the time, the goal of doing this would be to create an event page for your class so that you can add the people that you have invited that want to come, so that you can build a bit of a rapport and relationship with them. So when I'm going to teach, especially at a home where I don't know anybody there, what I love is if the host creates this page, I can pop in there and say hi to everyone and ask them what they're most excited to come and learn about and how I can tailor what I share with them in order to make it serve them, and so that they come and they feel it was really worth their time. So I think that that is a wise thing to do. The reality is if somebody shows up to this class that you're teaching, they want to purchase oils, or they're very curious, they might not be ready yet, but they are curious, majority of them want to purchase, they will not purchase because they didn't feel served by you. And that's okay. That is all a process, but for some reason, what you taught them, they didn't find value in. Because here's the thing, all these people who say, I can't afford oils, but they can afford the fast food. They can afford the 2 visits to Starbucks a day. There's a lot of things people are putting senseless value on just to get through their day. Whereas if they truly understood the value of oils and what you're offering them, it's a no-brainer. So I think it's wise to have some rapport and relationship with people before they come to a class, yes. How do you talk to a new builder without overwhelming them? So this comes down to knowing what they need and what they don't, right? So rather than, sitting down with a brand new person who wants to build a business on your team, I'm looking for an example of a big binder. So rather than sitting down and saying, here you go, these are my taxes, by the way, isn't that fun? Here you go, welcome to the business, right? Rather than doing that, what if you did this? I only want you to start with these 3 things. Number 1, I want to hear about your why. What has drawn you to want to do the oils? Who do you want to help? Tell me a little bit about your story, number 1. Number 2, when would you like to have your first class? If I can, because you're local to me, I'm going to come teach it with you. And number 3, who do you want to invite? Because the thing is, when somebody has their first class and they realize what we are actually doing through building this business, if they get into action right away, they build confidence. If you give them this and you say, let's have a call next week to go over all your questions, they're going to cancel that call, first of all. Second of all, be so overwhelmed, they will never get into action because you've just told them this business is incredibly hard. Whereas if you actually just had a class, brought your oils, right? Had everybody sitting around the fire, talking about oils and how we use them and creating that sisterhood. You've just taught them this is a beautiful business, and you take it a step at a time. Now, something I did with our team, so if you're not on our team, create this, okay? Create this for your team. Take all of your favorite stuff and drill it down into a blueprint or a checklist that you give someone. And maybe, what I use on our team, we have a business blueprint, which guides them through month 1, month 2, month 3. And it evolves from time to time, but it basically takes them through, here's all I want you to focus on in month 1. Don't go to month 3. And you know what? There are people who will. There are people who will not listen to what you say and will decide that they want to learn everything about the compensation plan and how to build to diamond before they ever have their first class. Or the real special ones are the ones who do that before even having a cool experience with their oils. They don't get it. They don't get what we're doing here. This is all about journey and sharing experiences, and you cannot guide other people unless you truly understand what you're a part of, okay? Totally, Brad. Take it, Brad, you're not on our team. We can post our business blueprint. I'll create a copy of it, a modified copy. I'll pull out my team-specific stuff because that wouldn't make sense for you if you're not on our team, but I can give you a rough idea. I'll make a note to myself. You're welcome. Let's do 2 more questions. Let me just browse Facebook really quick here. You guys, I will post a copy of the business blueprint that's modified and generic to my Facebook profile. I think of where I am right now. But I actually also on my website, WholeFit, HOL-FIT.com, I have a coaching section. I think the best place would actually be there because I have other tools you like. If you haven't gone over there, take a look. I have some great questions for you to ask during your mentor calls, things that have helped me in my journey. Okay, let me just scroll Facebook and see if there were, see a lot of comments. I just don't know if, thanks, Jill. Jill just posted the link on Facebook for the coaching section. Jan, eagles are everywhere in Van Island. Love it. Eagles are in my office too right now. Okay, I don't see any questions. Oh, hey, okay. Tracy Lyman is shifting our focus to go presidential diamond this year. I would love a clear cut. This is your next 8 months. So I show up and mentor, lead, and role culture plan, infuse my team together in their gifts, and invite them to be a presidential diamond team. So with you guys on, I want a full-on culture, community, and strategy plan. Yeah, you know what, Tracy? When I reflect on my year going presidential, I was just like super inspired. I just kept my mindset in check every day, elevating that and pouring that into my team. And through that, offering people the opportunity to join. And it's, you know, I think when you raise your vibration in a consistent way, bring people on the journey with you, share with your team the things you're listening to, what's inspiring you, how you're taking action because of it. You're modeling for them what to do within their own roles, strategy-wise, because I am a strategic person. I think, you know, it's looking at if you're, like Presidential Diamond is the highest rank in doTERRA. Rather than looking at it as you need these 6 platinum leaders, what if you looked at it as how do I create 54 elites? What kind of program could I create to light that fire for these elites? A launch program that you run in 6-week cycles all year, where you've got their backs, where you have a lot of focus for this group with your soon-to-be platinums playing a big role in that, you know, having them lead some of these calls and really influencing that group. But I would look at it on that level, you know, because if you look at it from the perspective of how you create 6 platinums, it can feel overwhelming. So I think if you look at creating a system, a strategic system for launching 54 elites in the right places, you're good to go. I mean, Diamond, you could do the same thing, right, guys? Diamond, I know a lot of you guys want to achieve that rank in doTERRA. A Diamond rank leader has 4 silver leaders. To be a silver, you have 3 elites. So to be Diamond, you need 12 elites. You could create 12 elites through one 6-week program, no problem. So if you actually break it down and look at it that way, it's pretty good. Yeah, Ash, I just loved what you shared yesterday. We're going to upload that recording you did to our rank up checklist. But if you drill it down to the more basic numbers and you know what you need to create, light a fire with that group. Let it bubble up above. Allison said, what's your best suggestion for me? I'm stuck at gold. I hit platinum once and I'm striving for diamond by end of the year, but no 4th leg as of now. Okay, so Allison, what you need to be doing is talking in a very authentic way about what you do. Attract that next leader in. Anyone who goes diamond has at some point done this, where they have said, you know what, that's it. This is me, this is what I do, and this is who I'm looking for. And they're clear and they attract that builder in. They're consistent with sharing their message and who they are. You know, if I look at my team, I have a really cool team. All of my frontline leaders are very different, but we all kind of have this vibe of we do us very well. We show up where we are our authentic selves. We're cool. We're vibing high. We get it that way. And in my front line, they're all totally different from each other. So I think the message there is something within the way I live, the lifestyle and you know, how I marketed myself attracted them in, so that even though we weren't the same kind of person or prototype, what was the same was our heart. We're very much about sharing our truth, who we are, not trying to be someone we're not. And that's really, I think, what attracts builders and leaders into our organizations, are people who share the essence of who we are. It might not look the same on paper, but you know, think about that. Who are you looking to bring into your business? And then you create the plan, girl, right? You create 3 elites with that new leader. Okay, 1 o'clock. I think we are out of time here. Do you qualify with builders not on your top line? Just curious. Yeah, all of my top line or front line leaders are my qualifiers. I have never had a leader quit. No, I'm just kidding. I know if they actually wouldn't, because it's the best thing. We know what we have, right? You just don't. People don't quit doTERRA unless they were super not aligned in the beginning. When I see people leave in other teams, sometimes I'll see like a presidential or a blue diamond share that she lost a leader to another network marketing company. Good. They were the wrong juice. Like, that needs to go. Because this industry is beautiful. It's a beautiful opportunity for people, but doTERRA is very unique. It needs to attract the right kind of person to be a leader, somebody who is like full in check. If someone does leave, what happens to their downline? Their downline will roll up to you. So if someone on your front line, let's say, that you enrolled, quits and leaves the business, after they haven't ordered for 6 months, if you know they've like checked out, you can have them call doTERRA and have their account removed. Everyone that was enrolled to that person now becomes enrolled to you because you were the enroller of them. Or what you also might consider doing, rather than having everybody roll up to you, you might want to transfer somebody into their spot. So it's another option there. But I do have qualifying leaders below my qualifying leaders. Okay, so over time, what I've done is, rather than I have a second organization where I'm almost a silver leader. Okay, because you can do that in doTERRA. So I have my presidential diamond organization, and then I'm about to be silver in my second one, but I'm not focused on that one. What I'm focused on is building a strong diamond team. I want to create a lot of diamonds with the diamond leaders within, and I don't mean I want to create them, I mean I want to co-create would be a better word. I want to work with them to help as many people as they want to create that kind of organization. So yeah, I have people who are not on my front line who are qualifiers as well. Yeah, and like Lindsay just said, sometimes you have to if your front line cannot enroll and close. Yeah. Qualifying leader means, so if you are a silver, let's say, you have 3 elites that you own enrollment of, they would be your qualifying leaders. So as a presidential, I have 6 platinum or above leaders that I own enrollment of that qualify me. So that's what that means. When would you start your 4th leg? You're a silver. Not until you're solid silver by the 15th of the month. Don't start it too early. That's a big mistake I see people make. They add their 4th leg or their 5th leg too soon, and then they never stabilize at their current rank, and that just doesn't go well. It doesn't feel good. Okay, just check the calendar. I will be with you next week, yes. What topics are on your hearts? Is there a topic you guys would like me to expand on next week? I'm ready. Abby wants placements. Abby, what specifically are you feeling a little bit stuck on with placements? It's a good conversation to have with your upline, to be honest, because I might advise something that they don't do. So I always like you to start there, but what are you mostly needing to know? Oils and mental health. To be honest, that's not my scope. Hold on one second. Inspiration at silver. Wholesale customers on LRP. That's a good one. The question about mental health and oils, that's not my scope. I wouldn't feel confident speaking about that because it's something I don't have a lot of experience with. But one of my friends in doTERRA, her name is Danielle. I would look her up. So she does a lot of work on oils with the brain. And she used to be a social worker for years and would advise and encourage patients to explore healthy, natural alternatives to drugs. So she has a lot of experience there. Strengthening routines for success. I like that. Oh, good. You just found a tear pad she made. Yeah, if you go to Aroma Tools and you want to learn more about the brain and oils, Danielle has a tear pad there you can purchase. It's great. My time blocking routine. Okay, yeah, that might be something that could go with the last question. Okay, awesome. Well, I will plan out some of these topics. I'm not sure which one we'll open up with next week, but thank you guys for joining live. As you may know, I upload the recordings each week to the a playlist on YouTube. Okay, so you can actually, if you hop over to my Facebook profile, I posted the link when I was sharing this broadcast today. If you're taking notes, it's bit.ly/HFQANDA. All right. Good to be with you guys. Go out there, enjoy the weather. If it's as beautiful as mine, I can't wait to get outside. I'm going to do a little work on the back deck today. Lots of love. See you guys next week.